I have two questions. First, I want to ask about the day of the oil spill itself on June 14. In the first press release that day, it gave no information on the possible spread of oil, which could be why the oil washing ashore on Saturday came as a surprise to some members of the public. So why was there no information about this at first? And my second question is on the deployment of containment booms. I understand the time in which the booms were laid out is within industry standards, but is there room for improvement, or is MOT looking to improve the response time for such spills, given that a quick response is crucial when such an oil spill happens?
Thank you, Justin, for your two questions. I think the first question, on the day itself, MPA did issue a media release to explain that there was this lesion, and after that, there was oil spill. Now, because I hope you understand it's an incident that happened, they knew that there was oil spilled, but at that point in time, the immediate response is to try and make sure that we are able to deal with it effectively. So first is to make sure that there's no more spillage from the damaged vessel. Because if you have oil that continues to come out in large amounts from the vessel, I think that will make the situation even worse. So they had to make sure, first of all, that the vessel is safe. It will not be at risk of sinking. The crew are okay. The damaged tank would not have continued spillage of oil. Then, as I explained earlier, you need to very quickly spray dispersant, because that is something that you have to do in the initial period. If you wait too long, the oil will start to harden, and then later on, it will become even more difficult to remove at sea and on land. Okay, so after doing the initial operations, they activated the company T&T Salvage to come and lay the containment booms, and I have also explained why that process takes time. At the situation on the first day, the oil is floating away, some of it, from the incident site. You don't quite know at that point in time where it will float to. So therefore, which of the shores and the beaches will be affected at that point in time. So MPA alerted our agencies, and then they deployed staff to be on the lookout. MPA also deployed vessels and drones to monitor, to track where the oil is going, and then to be able to then deal with it both at sea and on land. And as I shared in my remarks earlier, SDC, that evening itself, on the 14th of June, spotted some oil sheens, and then they started to take some measures to deal with the situation. Your second question about the booms, I think it depends a lot on the weather conditions, on also, I think, whether it's daytime or nighttime. So if in a situation where it is a daytime operation and the weather is fine, definitely I think the operator will be able to deploy more quickly compared to the situation that we had that day when it was nighttime and the weather conditions were not very good. Now, having said that, I think the important point to recognize is this. The containment booms are not intended as a way to fence in the oil that has been spilled. That is not possible. And this is not just in Singapore, this is also the case internationally, because by the time the containment boom vessel has arrived and deployed the booms, minimally it will take several hours, even if you are very, very fast. And you're able to deploy very, very quickly. It's an operation that takes time because of the scale that's involved. So that being the case, the oil would have floated away. So the response to oil spills is not to fence in the oil that has been spilled, but to take that as a preventive measure in case there's further spillage from a damaged vessel, and to then track where the oil is going and to then be able to deal with it downstream at other locations, both at sea and on land. I hope that answers your question, Justin. Thank you.